Okay. So I will start with the guided meditation, and then we can explore whatever questions you may have. So welcome your experience just as it is. Welcome without knowing. An open, welcoming, which is effortless, which in fact is our true nature, our true being is this openness. So in this openness, everything is appearing, whatever is appearing in that freedom. Or no, there is a toll booth. Whatever feelings, sensations, perceptions, thoughts, they unfold in this openness, in this welcoming. You don't need to do anything to avoid anything or hold on to anything or fix anything. So that you are this borderless presence. This transparent awareness without any edges. And you know you are, you know you are aware. You see, awareness itself knows itself as this borderless, still presence. So that your body is the body of the universe, and your mind is the mind of the universe. So there is nothing which is in opposition with the universe. Everything is unfolding as it should. Birth and death and political events and situations in the family, relationships, the loss of loved one and the welcoming of a newborn. The weather, the sound of traffic, the breath, everything is unfolding as it should, in perfect harmony. As this openness, as this effortless and welcoming, the heartbeat, the warmth of the body, and the love. The serenity, which is the serenity of welcoming. It is not that which appears on the screen, but it is the welcoming of the screen. So I is this welcoming screen, this effortless welcoming. And so in this openness, we sense sorrow. We can sense a certain sadness sometimes, certain situations that evoke that. We experience various situations in our body, in the world, in relationships. But is it possible to just be the welcoming space, not an argumentative, fearful mind? And if the argumentative, fearful mind arises, you don't need to jump on this horse and ride it around the you can simply notice. And in noticing, there is freedom. Now, today's topic is what is non-duality? And in a way, who cares? What is it that we really care about? That is non-duality. What is it that we love? Whatever it is. Do we love judging and being fearful, being worried, being concerned? If we do, that's non-duality. If you love being a hero, or if you love commiserating in your feelings and your sorrow and your regrets, if that's what you love, then that's non-duality. If you love to resist and argue, blame God for her failure in meeting your demands and fixing your life as you would like her to do. If that's what you love, then that's non-duality. Because in fact, there is no such thing as duality. You may believe that there is duality, and you may feel something that you call duality. Why not? You're free to label anything that you want in any way you want. It's just a labeling. But I would propose that deep down, even when we are engaged in resisting and arguing, that behind the scene we are seeking peace and happiness. Anyways, take a look. Even when you're engaging in wallowing in your misery or regretting and hoping and wishing, behind the scene, what you love is peace and happiness. So one could say, as a way of speaking, that non-duality is being peace and happiness. Because after all, in everything that we seek, all 7 billion of us, or whatever, 8 billion of us, deep down we are seeking the same thing. Peace and happiness. Peace and happiness means you're no longer interested in opposing, arguing, fighting, resisting, wallowing around your emotions and peace and happiness means love. It means presence. It's not a story in time. Oh yeah, look how hard I worked and look what I got and now I'm happy and I will be happy forever and ever. It's not a story in time. Happiness is not caused by something, a beautiful diamond ring or a nice relationship or a great job or high income. Because all of that is fleeting, is impermanent. So what is it in your experience right now, this moment, that has no cause, that is not the result of any cause, that is not an effect? It's not your thoughts, your feelings, your memories, it's awareness. The reality which is formless, transparent, effortless. Yes, there is something rather than nothing in this moment. It's this transparent presence, awareness, consciousness, reality, whatever words you want to use. It doesn't matter the word. And this reality is not a female or a male reality. It's not a body. It's not a mother or a son. It's not an intelligent reality or a stupid reality or a drunk reality or a sober reality. All of that belongs to the body-mind. Images on the screen. I is not something which appears. Everything that appears to I, within I, and intimate with I, but I is not defined in any way by that which appears, whatever it is, a strong feeling, emotion, perception, thought, belief. Non-duality means not two. One reality. There is one reality. Meaning nothing is excluded. Infinite worlds, sensations, feelings, emotions, thoughts, perceptions, galactic fields beyond the universes, beyond the perception of this particular body-mind. Nothing is excluded. And everything is one. It's not a reality made out of 70 billion parts and pieces and bits that are put together as a puzzle. No, there are no bits and pieces. So whenever you're referring to yourself as a separate me, separate person, a separate consciousness, you're missing the boat. You're engaged in a belief and a feeling. I am this woman, I am this wife, this mother, this husband, this father. You're referring to reality as a particular body-mind appearance within the myriad of appearances. And what if you don't? What if you don't refer to yourself in any way? You don't disappear. You still are as what? As this reality right now which perceives, is this presence, awareness. Doesn't matter the word. Who cares? So we explore being, not knowing, undefined being. No definition. I am. The reality is, consciousness is. Without a need to define this I, no need to define this presence, this consciousness as this or as that. No need to define myself as a wife, a husband, a mother, a father. When there is a need for the body to be a father, the body will act as a father or a mother. When there is a need for the body to drive a car down to the market, then there will be driving and there will be shopping at the market. But you don't need to define yourself as somebody driving a car to the market. Remain undefined. Because in being, there is no duality. In the reality, there is no duality. Okay, you're welcome to ask any questions you want. Please make sure to unmute your mic and turn your video on so we can see each other. So, any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi.
Good.
I don't know how to say this, and being here, guided through your meditation, feeling your sensitivity, there's an openness, there's an ease, a clarity. And for some reasons, the last few days, I don't know what's going on when I'm by myself. I have like phases where I go back into confusion, where things become heavy, and then it just changes again. It's maybe that's just normal. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful thing because it provides you an opportunity to experience the quotes unquote heaviness, the sensation or whatever, in a maybe a new way, maybe in, of course, there is a traditional way, oh my God, what's going on? There's a problem and blah, 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 blah. But it gives you an opportunity to also really, really experience that viscerally, in a way of stillness, of not knowing, it may be even helpful to sort of recollect, okay, well, this is fascinating, this consciousness appearing as this energetic, sort of playing this, sometimes it's helpful to even remind yourself, that it's just more of the manifestation or the play of consciousness, so that then it becomes a real a gift for you to actually, not like conceptually, to actually be there with it, so to speak, and at the same time to be exploring just okay, being, no problem, is not a problem, nothing to fix, nothing to repair. I'm not seeking a state, because consciousness is not seeking a state, and consciousness is not a state. States are wakings, they're states of the body mind. So when something appears to you, you can call it a state, an experience, a feeling, a sensation, whatever you call it, doesn't matter. At the sensory level, at the experiential level, there is love. The love of that. Love doesn't mean like some attitude. It's just that there is this. It's already on board, fully on board. It's already fully welcomed, right? It's already fully, because it's on board, so it's being welcomed. And the recognition of that, just be with that, be as that, and not so much to to also be in presence with the intention that, okay, well, that's the way I'm gonna, kick it out of the ballpark. No, I'm here with it. I don't care, another 700 years, cool. So no problem. I'm fine. Yes, this sort of because whatever we're trying to protect is illusory, and it maintains the dynamics that there is something at stake and something I need to safeguard and save and then fix and take care of. I need to be in a certain way, or I need to appear to myself in a certain way, or I need to appear to others in a certain way, or I need to. It's still within the loop, it's still within the identity, the meeting, the being identified with an experience, with a state, with a sensation. You follow?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yes. So this is a great opportunity. Beautiful.
Good. Yay.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mean it.
Not a pep talk. Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, because it's very, very personalized. It's custom made.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any questions? And not to accumulate, to return to the freshness of the moment, the freshness of presence, to the eternity of being, the eternity of now, not to sort of carry the past, which is just gone. And if there is like a little echo from the past, it sort of goes whoa. It goes diminishing in presence.
It is amazing. I mean, this could be our last meeting today.
Yes, absolutely. But there is no ending to being. There is no beginning or ending to being, to reality.
Yeah.
Yes, this could be our last meeting. And,
Wow.
and in a way it is. It's our last and our first. Because in the eternity of being, the past and the future, they meet in eternity, they dissolve in the eternity of being, of presence. So the experience of continuity that we experience in relationships, in life, is not the continuity of the images or the continuity of the thoughts, because they keep changing. The thoughts that you had 2 weeks ago and the thoughts you have now are different. The continuity is the continuity of love, the continuity of being, the continuity of presence, the continuity of reality. As a way of speaking, continuity, of course, it's just the uninterruptedness, and that's truth. And that in this moment, the time, the duration of this moment is not 1 second or half a second or a microsecond. There is no duration in presence, right? Duration is in thought. The impression of duration is in thought and measurement. But in the fact of being, of awareness, of experience, whatever word you use, it doesn't last a microsecond. There's no time. So this is where the so-called beginning and the ending meet. So yes, one could say this is the last, but also this is the first, as a way of speaking. And that which eternal, that which we recognize as the ongoing relationship between Holger and Magdi, is the ongoing relationship of consciousness. As a way of speaking, of course, meaning that which is, and that which cannot not be, is consciousness. It is that which is eternal. It is that which is real. So therefore, it is that which is this conversation. This conversation is that. Because it is that which is real. So whatever reality this conversation has is the reality that consciousness is. There's a reality to this conversation that is separate from consciousness. So in relationship, it is always consciousness. But what we call relationship, it is consciousness. With your wife, with your children, with your friends, in the marketplace. It's always that. Relationship with yourself, with your very self. You're in the deepest sense, not in the descriptive sense of the self, in the essence of self. You follow? Yes? Yes?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's...
So can there be a slothfulness?
A what?
Being slothful?
Remind me, can you describe to me the meaning of slothful? Because I heard it, I'm not sure I know it very well.
Yeah.
Like a laziness? No.
Like a laziness, like not fully vigilant.
Yeah, of course.
Careless.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, there can be slothfulness. Sure, why not? Carelessness or not fully carefulness, whatever. Yes, of course. In fact, there is, isn't there? But you don't need to identify anything with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is slothfulness. Okay, yeah, of course, we all know that. I mean, but that has nothing to do with reality. It's just the dance of reality, you could say. This moment is playing slothfulness, but not to define anything, define reality, or define yourself, or define consciousness via slothfulness or laziness or confusion, blah blah blah. Not to, but yes, of course there can be, and there is. It's just like you sit by the river, or you walk alongside the river. You can ask, oh, will there be bubbles? Yes. Will there be some currents and whirlpools? Yes. Could there be splashing? Yes. But the river is one. It's river. The river is not defined by the splashing or the bubbles or by the whirlpool. And reality is the river, as in that metaphor. I is not the thoughts or the feelings or the emotions that are appearing on the screen. I is this, let's say, the knowingness or the awareness, the presence, the formless beingness, undefined, not defined by the perceptions, the sensations, the thoughts, the states that appear to it, right?
Yeah.
We get that, right? We get that. So you just have to sort of recollect that. Yes.
It's almost like I'm addicted to defining, to labeling,
yes.
to categorizing, to...
Yes, I get it. Yeah. But then there is an understanding about I, which is not that which is addicted.
Yes.
It's an understanding about I, which is not the addicted person or the addicted mind or whatever. And there's a lot of, I hesitate to use the word, but there's a lot of power to this understanding, to understanding about the I that is not subject to the addiction that it perceives. So you cannot discount that. Anyways, you have no choice. It's there. It's undiscountable. Don't discount it. It's undiscountable. It's there. And you know that because you know yourself as consciousness. You're conscious right now. This awareness is not located in your brain. Your brain, an image of your brain or memory of your brain or picture you saw in the book about the brain may appear in consciousness, in awareness. But awareness doesn't appear in the brain. It's not appearing in your brain, in your behind your eyes or something like that. There may be a sensation of something within you, behind your eyes, that's appearing in awareness that you may call, I'm not saying you're doing that yourself, but in general, speaking generically, that you may call awareness. Which would be a misnomer in the way we use the word awareness. We call it a sensation. It's a sensation. Sensation.
Thank you, Magdi. For some reason, I feel more alive. I mean, something happened.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
I have a question, Magdi.
Hello, Jeff. One moment, please. One moment, please. Do one thing. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Jeff, please go ahead.
Yes, not to identify with content or with the phenomenal world that arises and falls, but is it necessary to identify with beingness?
No, no.
The question being, you don't want to objectify being.
Yes, right. Yes, correct, Jeff. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Could you say a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. Right. So it's not like switching identification or switching a belief, belief I am, this personal mind and bundle of feelings and sensations, blah, blah. And now I got it, now I am, I'm consciousness, I am, I'm awareness. Now there's a new identity. There is still there's still a sort of a personal self that is identifying with universal consciousness. No, that's it. No. So in our experience, when we go to our experience, experientially, not conceptually, experientially, awareness is. And that which is aware experientially is I perceive, I am aware. So the awareness experientially and the I experientially are not two experiences. They're one experience. So it's not like an identification of two separate experiences. There is in me, and there is awareness, and now I'm identifying myself with awareness. So when we identify ourselves with awareness, it's important to ask yourself, what is it that is identifying itself? And if you find that there is something that is identifying itself with awareness, now you need to take a look at that. What is the something that I take myself to be, or define myself to be, or imagine myself to be, which is now identifying itself with awareness? So it's important to go, Jeff, which I think that you're pointing it out, really well, to go to your experience of being, of presence. So your experience of being is not dual. It's not like there is somebody who is experiencing being. It's very subtle. If you look at your experience of being, you find that being is, I am. Isness is. It's not a person who is. A person may appear as an image, as a memory, as a sensation. Within being, a human image, person, memory, feeling, sensation may appear within being. This does not mean that being is a human or is a person. The being is, and it's sort of absolute, it's an absolute statement in a way. Being is and non-being is not.
When I ask myself who or what is experiencing this beingness, I get this unlimited I don't know.
Yes. So who is it that is experiencing being? There is you.
It doesn't matter, does it?
You don't find, well, yeah, it doesn't matter, but also, besides it doesn't matter, you don't find somebody who is experiencing being. You find just awareness, just presence, and it's not like you find it phenomenally. It is irrefutable that there is something that perceives. There is a reality to our experience. Yes, would you agree?
I mean, from my experience, I feel it. I don't know how else to say it.
Okay. Yes, if you're feeling it, then you are perceiving a feeling, right? Would you agree with that?
Yes, I think so. Sure.
Right. So if you're perceiving a feeling, which is fine, the question is, what is it that is perceiving the feeling? Is the feeling is appearing within awareness? Would you agree with this language?
Yeah.
It's appearing within awareness. So the awareness is quote unquote, the reality which perceives that feeling. Yes, you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Right. So now, so awareness is perceiving a feeling which is referring to as being, right? Anything that you perceive has a beginning and an ending. Would you agree with that?
With the exception of the beingness that I'm perceiving.
Well, if you perceive the feeling, then the next, maybe then you may perceive a hunger. You may perceive hunger.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And then, yeah. And then you after hunger, then you perceive thirsty maybe, or tiredness. So one thing, what I'm pointing is that anything that you perceive appears in time and space, has a duration, has a beginning and an ending. Yes, would you agree with that?
That's correct, yes.
Right. So, but if we define being as that which is, not that which appears, because there's a difference between that, when we say that which appears, then we're talking about an event which appears, has a beginning and ending. But when we say that which is, that which cannot not be, then we're no longer referring, Jeff, to an appearance. You follow?
Yes, but I think what I was trying to ask you was, is it essential that you identify that which is perceiving?
No. It's not about
Because like I said, it seems to me to be an infinite unknown. It's almost like an energy field is using this form and it goes out everywhere. That's the way I feel.
Yes. When we say that which perceives, or we call it a reality, or we call it being, or awareness, or presence, we're not identifying it. I use the term identification, as identifying with a concept, or identifying with an experience, identifying with a feeling, identifying with an object, identifying with a perception. So it's a phenomenal, I use the term identification in a phenomenal sense, that I'm identifying myself with my bank account. Yeah, I am wealthy. I'm identifying myself with my beautiful appearance. So, but when
you look marvelous, by the way.
I don't see you, but I'm sure that you look marvelous too, Jeff. Compliments will get you very, very far, you know.
There's no one here to receive them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. So there is no one who's sending them. Coming back to your question about identification. Yes, you're right. We're using the term reality, or consciousness, or awareness, not in order to identify reality. It's more to sort of point to the reality. I was going to say the reality of consciousness, or reality of awareness, but to reality. And there is a discrimination between the images that appear on the screen and the screen. It's an important discrimination in the teaching. Of course, it's not the ultimate teaching, but it's along the path. It's an important point to clarify, that there is the screen, which is referred to as I, or presence, or beingness, and the image is on the screen. And the image on the screen, if an image appears on the screen, it appears in time and space. It has a duration. So feeling has a duration. A thought has a duration. A sensation has a duration. So when we're speaking about reality, we're speaking about non-duration. We're about non-time, non-time.
We're trying to talk about that which can't be talked about.
Yeah, you point to the moon. When you say the moon, you are using a pointer, like the map is not a territory. Yes, the map is not a territory. But the metaphor about, it's always metaphor, not to take it literally, about the raft that you take over the river to get you from one bank to the other. Of course, one could say there are no banks, reality is. Yes, it's metaphoric. The teaching is like the Indian metaphor about a thorn that removes the thorn, and then both thorns are discarded.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, all the teaching is metaphoric, but it does not mean that it is not helpful. And, you know, in time, we realize that, in fact, all has always been well. There was never, in fact, any reality to ignorance, any reality to unhappiness. But you cannot start with that. You don't start with the end. Well, actually, in teaching, in the direct teaching, we say, you know, reality is, there is only one reality. Anyways, we're starting with the end. But then there is an unfolding of there are many aspects of the understanding, and it varies from person to person depending on their conditioning and their mind state. So that thorn, to remove the thorn, is useful because it's not just one thorn we're removing. There are quite a few little thorns we're removing. Like we fell in the cactus, you know those cactus that you get, you know, my God, you look at your arm and it's like, oh, how am I going to get all that out?
It's this process of getting older too, Magdi.
Yeah.
You feel an ache or pain, and then all of a sudden there's another one that arises. It's worse than the one you've been concentrating on, so you forget about it.
Yeah. Don't remind me. Give me a little bit.
Well, thank you, Magdi. I appreciate it.
Nice chatting with you, Jeff. So any question? Okay, well, thank you all. Very lovely to be with you. It's always a joy. Holger, and Rochelle, Jeff, George, Chris, hello Richard, Holly, Patrick, and hello Manoj, and my sweetheart Tara. Thank you all. Thank you all.
And thank you, Magdi, for having your meetings on YouTube.
Thank you.
Having recorded, it's very helpful. It's very sad saying. Thank you, Holger.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Thank you, Magdi.
Holger has been very, very helpful. You know, thank you very much, Holger, in transcribing all the recordings and posting them, and also doing the meditations. And there is a site that Holger posted. It's meditation. Well, that's also where, if you want to, you want to speak a little bit about it, Holger, just to sort of say what it is.
The website is called magditation.com, and just have a look yourself. It just has only the meditation on it right now.
Yes.
And you can subscribe and receive updates.
Yeah.
More, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes if you go for a walk, you can plug in your earplugs, and you can enjoy the meditation in walking in nature. Or no, it's very a good time to listen to the meditation. Or of course, you know, at home in a quiet setting. Anyway, thank you very much, Holger. Yes, that's very, very helpful. Okay, bye.
Bye, Magdi.
Okay.
Thank you.